Tonga get the win over the USA 31 points to 19. It was always going to be a big game, especially after the disappointment of the Namibia and Canada game getting cancelled. That chance for those two teams to finally get a win. We saw a similar style game here, and that both these teams were already out. Neither had a win. And both teams you could see desperate to go out with the win, and it's Tonga who have gotten it done. Kind of convincingly in the end, I suppose, but the USA were definitely up for it in this game as well. First half would have been a frustrating watch for Tongan fans. They started dominant early. They went 14 phases. The US defence held and eventually won a turnover. That pressure continued for about the first 10 minutes, but they weren't able to score. The closest they got was about 5 metres out, and then they knocked it on, did the Tongans. 12 minutes, they did finally get a chance where it seemed like it was sure that Tonga were going to get a try, but there was an offload that just kind of went to nobody, and there were multiple occasions like this for Tonga. Like I said, it was frustrating to watch, and I was a neutral, so I can't imagine being a Tongan fan for this one. 16 minutes though, or 17, Fisiihoi finally broke the deadlock. Tonga finally got over the line. It all started from a breakout from their own half, and it was the big prop who ended up finishing it off. 7 points to nil with Tonga ahead. But then, kind of against the run of play, or in their first chance, like after Tonga has squandered a lot of chances, creating a lot but unable to finish, the US go down the other end. First time, I think, in the Tongan 22, they go and score a try. It's through Teo. I think the captain Scully had gone off just minutes earlier. It was Dolan with the fantastic offload to set him up, and Teo just went over for the try, and that was converted. 7 points each, and then a few minutes later, Teo gets a double. It's another great pass that sets him up. The US have gone like 6 or 7 phases. One ball bobbles loose, and that loose ball seems to distract everyone for just a moment enough that when the pass comes through for the US guys, I think it might be Veron who kind of bites in a little bit. He's torn as to whether to go for the ball carrier or the guy out wide, and it's the guy out wide. It is Teo. He gets the ball and he canters over for a second in a matter of minutes. The Hooley was the guy who made the pass. Fantastic stuff, big pass. And they missed the conversion, but the US go into the lead, 12 points to 7. 33 minutes, Tonga showed a real bit of heart because the US kicked through and Tonga was scrambling to get back. It was Capelli, one of the loose forwards, who had to go back and clean up the ball. He did well with 2 US guys, trying to turn him over. He managed to get a little offload away, so kind of saved Tonga in that situation. Showed the fight that this game meant to them, like in another game where you just give up. You might not showing that kind of thing, but Capelli really did it well. Good cover work under pressure. And, a few minutes later, Fisiihoi, 34 minutes, he goes so close. Again, he almost gets a double of his own. Tonga get a line-out move. They cut straight through. Fisiihoi is right there, and he just has to fall over the line, but the ball bobbles out. It looks like the US halfback, I think, kind of knocked it out in the tackle, so it was really good defensive work, and again the US, as I said, up for this as well. But another heartbreaking moment for Tonga. Dropped it over the line, and right before halftime, Tonga had one more chance to score, and it knocked on. So halftime stats, it's hard to believe Tonga were behind when you look at the numbers. Run meters, 151 to America, 363 to Tonga. Possession, Tonga 62%. Territory, Tonga 69%. Tackling percentage, Tonga 76. America 62, which is low, man. But the finishing, the knock-ons were Tonga 7, America 2. So that was perhaps one of the key areas where Tonga were really lacking in that first half. Second half, it kind of starts with a bit more of the same. They've got another potential try going down the left wing, but the pass, I think, kind of slips out and goes a bit forward and goes into touch to nobody. 50 minutes, Tonga do decide to take a penalty because nothing's doing with the hand, so they're only a few points behind. So the penalty makes it 12 points to 10, so you're within another kick. 57 minutes, the USA, who at this point kind of really start ramping back up into the match, they go 20 phases. They got the Tongans under a lot of pressure. Tongan defense is holding well, but they knock it on, and then the Tongans, I think it was Veonu, kicks the ball long. There's nobody home for the Americans. Veonu's the guy who chases it. They manage to regather it, and it's not Veonu who scores, but it is Hingano. He goes over for the try, running a good support line. He does, and the commentators on my stream for New Zealand as well mentioned as well, he does a massive swan dive to score the try. And in a game where Tonga has blown a number of chances, I thought that was a pretty poor choice. Like, this is the kind of game where that ball just flies loose, but thankfully for him, it didn't, and he doesn't go into the history books as some kind of highlight reel tragic moment, but it was a good try from them. So Tonga back into the lead, 17 points to 12. 61, Fisiiho again, man. That guy, I've got lots of notes on him. He had a wee line break. He gets the ball away to Kalamafoni, but he's brought down. And a few minutes later, though, not even a minute, maybe Pietau, I think within 30 seconds, he goes over for a try because in the support play, a couple of phases later, he just goes straight over and scores a try. It is converted, so it's 24-12. At this point, Tonga are starting to look on top. But as I said, the US were better in the second half despite conceding kind of more points. Interestingly, from that Pietau try, the cameraman was filming right over Nigel Owens' shoulder for the conversion, and when Owens blew the conversion, he just turned around and started running, and he ran straight into the camera. So he didn't know the cameraman was behind him. USA, from that point, though, really ramped the game up. Not able to score any points, but eventually, after really coming back to the game, they go 7+ phases, and Lambourne gets the ball against the base of the posts. From the camera angle they had us on the TV, it looked pretty clear that he got it first time, but Nigel Owens doesn't see it, and I think Lambourne gives him a bit of an earful for not seeing it. Nigel Owens doesn't take that kind of stuff, and he tells him off. He does get the TMO to check it, but he says it's no try, unless you can tell me otherwise, but there is clear footage of him grounding the ball against the base of the post, so it is a try. So kind of back to game on moment, like at 19 points to 24. And then 79 minutes and 30 seconds. Tonga are down the American half. They win a penalty. You're thinking, just kick it. Kick it. If you miss it, it's game over because the time's up. And if you get it, you're 8 points winners. But no, Tonga take a scrum. They didn't show it, but the commentators said that the Tongan coaching box were like slamming their fists against the desks, asking, what are you guys doing? But it paid off because they took the scrum about 7 meters out. From the scrum, they get advantage, but they get a little kick through, and it's that man Veonu who finally gets on the board himself. He had a pretty big game, and Pietau gets a chance to sign off with a conversion. So it's a nice moment for them. The TMO did check that final one to make sure he was level, and he was just level with the kicker. So it ends up being a pretty big win to Tonga. Like I said, they had a whole bundle of chances, but the US were definitely making their mark felt on the game as well. So run meters 632 to 378. That's a whole lot by Tonga, but 378 for the US is more than a lot of teams get. Like that Ireland against Samoa game yesterday, 260 was the winning team's number. So for the losing team to get 378 is pretty good. Admittedly, the pitch was a bit better in this game than that previous game. Possession. Remember how it was so favouring Tonga in that first half? It actually kind of evened up. America 48, Tonga 52, territory 47-53. So if you look at the second half, America had 62% territory and 57% possession. So they did get into the game more as it went on, which is one thing the Tongan guys said after the game, is that in some of the other games against the Tier 1 nations, they'd started too slow and they had to come back. I guess in the first half they actually managed to start, despite the fact they weren't able to convert, but they made a lot of chances. Tackling percentage in the end was America 71%, Tonga 86%, so that's a good effort from the Tongans. Americans will be a bit unhappy about the defence not quite holding up. Penalties conceded was 6 to America, 3 to Tonga, so that's pretty low. I think in the last game, last night, Samoa had 17 penalties alone, so this game only having 9 was on the good side. Individuals, key guys, Lambourne, apart from his try, him and El Jabori had almost 30 tackles between them, which is a phenomenal effort for a couple of hard-working Lucies. Pietau had 13 out of 14 tackles, which is awesome stuff. He had a try and a conversion as well, like I said, and Veonu had 157 run meters alone, which is incredible. 11 defenders beaten and 5 offloads, so that guy is class as well. So yeah, both of these two teams go home after this one, but it was a good way to sign off. Both teams will have something to cheer about, but it is Tonga who get the win. So America do sign off this one winless and not able to get a bonus point either, which is unfortunate for them. But yeah, good game. We've still got 2 more to go today, so we'll see how the other 2 go. But you guys let me know your thoughts on this one, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.